Yes, thank you so much. And as you said, that in the last week session we have discussed the embedded system basics and microcontroller fundamentals, and I have shown you what are the features of microcontroller, pin diagram of the microcontroller, and I told you to write down on a notebook. And today also make a notes, right? So what are the important topics I'll tell you. So you need to take the screenshots and you need to make a note on the notebook. So today what I am going to start is a new subject you all. So some of you might have some idea about subject like the C language. So those who don't have any idea, who did not learn anything about the C language in your semester subjects, okay, and those who have learned and you don't have any clarity over the subject, so have patience and within a couple of sessions we will cover entire subject with the practical program implementation everything. So you are going to understand the subject very clearly. So how much this particular C language subject is required, programming knowledge is required. So till that I will teach in these sessions and upcoming sessions. And these fundamentals are very important to understand the embedded C programs. So both the C language and embedded C programs, if I could cover, then definitely you can write any program related to microcontroller. Okay. So let me share my screen now. So before I share my screen, put it in chat box. How many of you have the C programming language? Yes. How many of you know? Put it in chat box. Okay, I know sir. Okay. What about others? If you have basic knowledge, or if you feel that you don't know anything about C language, and just put it as no idea. No, I have, okay. If you don't have any idea, put it as no idea. I want to know how many of you know it and how many of you don't know. And I want everyone to participate in the sessions. That's what expecting from your side. Okay. Don't sit idle and listen to the class. Be active and participate. Then only you can learn the subject. So I can see that some of you already know it. Okay. So how much you know, just check it. And so my point is, you try to understand the subject. Okay. Thoroughly. Alright, I'll share my screen. Just hold on. So this is the introduction about the C language, overview of the C language. Okay. Here, what you are going to learn is the fundamentals and what is the history of the C language. Okay. So C seems to a strange name for the programming, but this strange sounding language is one of the most popular computer language today. C was an offspring of the basic combined programming language BCPL, called B language, developed in the year 1960s at Cambridge University. During B language was modified by Dennis Ritchie and was implemented at Bell Laboratories in 1972. The new language was named as C language. So that means the earlier version of the C language is called B language, and B language is nothing but basic combined programming language, and it was developed in the year 1960 by whom? Dennis Ritchie. Okay, you need to remember who is the founder of the C language. Okay, who is the father of the C language? He is Dennis Ritchie. So in 1960s, the language that everyone knows is only B language. Later, it was modified at in the year 1972 at Bell Laboratories. Okay, at Cambridge University Bell Laboratories in 1972 by Dennis Ritchie, and after B, it was named as a C language. Okay, since it was developed along with the Unix. Okay, Unix operating system. I think you heard about this one, Linux and Unix operating systems. It was strongly associated with Unix. This operating system, which was also developed in Bell Laboratories, was coded almost entirely in C language. That means using C language, a new kind of operating system was developed in those years, 1970s. And the Unix operating system, which is secure operating system, okay, was developed using C language. That means using C programs, the entire software, that is operating system software, was designed. That means that is the power of the C language. Using C language, now what you see is the fundamental programs, but also we can develop operating systems. There are so many applications using C language. For many years, C was used mainly in academic environments, but eventually, with the release of the C compilers for commercial use and the increasing popularity of Unix, it began to gain widespread support among the computer professionals. Today, C is running under a number of operating systems, including MS-DOS. Since MS-DOS is dominant operating system for microcomputers, it is natural that C has begun to influence the microcomputer community at large. Okay, so that means the C was introduced uh, along with the Unix operating system. Okay, so in the using Unix operating system, so many apart from Unix, another operating system is called MS DOS, disk operating systems. Microsoft disk operating system was also developed using C language. Okay, so after the basic fundamental language was developed and Unix and MS DOS were designed, then more and more C compilers have designed. Okay, C compilers came into the market. So because of these C compilers, and the C was started using in the commercial purpose also. Commercial purpose is what? For the business purpose. Okay, and all the computer professionals started, having more interest on the C language. Okay, that means it was used in so many electronic applications and computer applications. Later, for electronics set-top boxes. Okay, there are any number of applications where C language was used, and for certain gaming purpose also C language was used. Okay, what is the importance of C language? The increasing popularity is probably due to its many desirable qualities. It is a robust language. Okay, C is a robust language, and it is a high-level language. C comes under the category of high language. You all know the different levels of language, like high-level language, mid-level language, and low-level language. Low-level language is not nothing but a binary language. You all know ones and zeros are nothing but a binary language. So that is a system language. Only the system can understand the binary language. Later, from the binary language, it was designed the mid-level language. The middle-level language is nothing but assembly language. So using assembly language, you all know you have designed certain programs in microcontroller, microprocessor, etc. So there are so many applications of assembly language also, but you haven't seen those applications. Only the programs are written. Okay, so especially in the mainframe computers. Okay, especially in the mainframe computers, the assembly language was used. Okay, then later assembly language also has so many constraints, like it is not user friendly. Assembly language is not user friendly, and if you want to write any program for any application, the program size is very large, and also the user has to remember so many instructions in assembly language. You have seen in the microcontroller when you have written assembly language programs like move a comma b, add a comma b, like that you have written. That means if you want to write any program, lots of instructions need to be remembered. So this will become very much hectic for the programmers. So that's why later eventually the C language was developed, which is high level language and user friendly language, and you did not remember any instruction in C language. It is just like you write some passage in English. Okay, the passage you write based on the idea you have, based on the script that is already there in your mind, you put it in words. Okay, that means if you have the idea of programming, that is what is your application, what is your logic. So how do you solve any problem? So based on that, logic that you have in your mind, you write the script on the by as a program. Okay, so you write programs based on the idea you have, right? So based on the idea, or maybe you want to give solution to a problem in a simplest way. Okay, so or you want to design okay, any software to fulfill the requirements of certain application. So these are the different types of requirements why you write the programs. Okay, so C is very much easy in all these fields, user friendly. You can write any program on your own. You have the flexibility in using the variables. You can use any constants. You can use certain keywords like that. Okay, you can see on the screen that there are only 32 keywords in the C language. So what are keywords? I will let you know. Okay, in a moment you will understand what are the keywords. So keywords are the inbuilt words which have the pre-defined meaning in the C language. Okay, C language is well suited for the structured programs, thus requiring the user to think of a problem in terms of a function, modules or blocks. A proper collection of these modules would make a computer. Remember, C language is everything about functions. Remember, it's a procedure oriented programming language. POP means POP. C comes under POP. Java comes under OOPS. Object oriented programming language is nothing but OOPS. POP is nothing but procedure oriented. Procedures are nothing but in your microcontroller technology, procedures are nothing but subprograms, subroutines. Subroutines are nothing but IO programs, or also called procedures. That's why procedure oriented programming language is called C language. So procedures are nothing but in high level functions. So is a function oriented programming language is a C language. So in C language, everything is looked as a functions. Okay, everything, whatever you see, entire structure of a program of a C, it is considered as a function. Everything is a function. We have the main function, we have the sub functions. Okay, we have the multiple functions. We will have the function within a function. Okay, then we will have the called function, calling function. So different functions. That means you need to look the C programs as a blocks of functions, or a chain of functions, or different modules of functions. So everything you need to look like this. Okay, C is nothing but a multiple blocks of functions. Remember. So what is the example of a sample program? How does a C program looks? A C program looks like this. It will have the main and open and close the brackets, right? Then below which it has the flower brackets. Open the flower bracket, printing begins, and there is a function called output function. This is nothing but printf. You'll understand how this is. Don't worry. Printf means whatever you write inside the printf. I remember, and close the main function. So what does the C compiler will do? C compiler will execute this program that the first instruction that is present in the main function. Okay, so it starts executing the main function, and in the main function we have written one output function called printf. So what the C compiler will do? It will give you the output ICRE number. This is the simplest program that you can see. Okay, just a one line of text, nothing else. So is this the entire program? No, absolutely not. If you try to write this program and execute it, you will not get output, because practically how do you implement the programs in a C compiler is different. It depends on again on type of compiler you are using. Okay, not that every compiler will have the standard procedure in the same way, but there are few differences based on the compiler you are using. You need to modify your program, but this is generalized program. Okay, theoretically it is fine. Theoretically, to understand the programs of C, you can write the main program like this directly. But if you try to execute the same program in using any compiler, it will give you the error, because there are so many other things you need to write along with this main structure program. Okay, So we'll come to the practical programs, then you'll understand. Okay. So let us have a close look at the program. The first line informs the system that the name of the program is a main, and the execution begins at this line. The main is a special function used by the C system to tell the computer where the program starts. Every program must have exactly one main function. If you choose more than one main function, the C compiler cannot tell which one marks the beginning of the program. Remember. So C will have the definitely one default function called main function. Very important. Now I am talking about the main function only. Okay, understand what the importance of main function. So when you write any program, the definitely and the compulsion function is main function. You may not have other types of functions, but definitely you must have the function. Function called main function. If you don't have the main function, the C compiler cannot execute any program. Any instruction it cannot execute. So what is the main function is indicating? Main function is indicating the system or the computer that the actual program starts from the main function itself. That means you are giving the origin of the function. Okay, you are giving the origin of the function. Where does the program starts? The origin of the function, origin of the program or instruction, you are giving information to the computer. Once the computer gets the information that exactly where the program starts, it starts executing from the first instruction onwards within the main function. For example, you create multiple main functions. You have in a program 2 or 3 main functions. Then definitely the computer will get confused that where exactly the program originates. That it cannot understand. It cannot understand anything on its own. We need to give the information. So the C compiler or the C software is designed in such a way that you need to give only one main function for each and every C program, and the first function that is executed by the C compiler is a main function itself. It will not execute any other function except the main function. The first function it will executes is the main function. Okay. So whatever instruction that you write as a first instruction within the main function, it will start execute that instruction only. It will not execute any other instruction unless and until you call any other function within the main function. Okay. Right. I think it's clear about the main function and the importance of the main function. And you can see that in the main function there are no arguments or parameters. No. For example, you will see on the screen, this is open bracket, this is close bracket in the main function. Okay. In the main function, this is open bracket, this is close bracket. Within open and close bracket, you did not have anything. That means in certain applications, you can write something as arguments. Right? They are called parameters. If you did not write anything, then it indicates that no arguments or no parameters. The concept of arguments will be discussed in detail later. Okay. The opening braces in the second line marks the beginning of the main function. Open flower bracket is the beginning, and the closing flower bracket is the closing of the main function. All the statements between these two braces forms the function body. So whatever you write here, from the starting of the open bracket and the end of the closing bracket, which is nothing but function body. Function body contains a set of instructions to perform the given task. Okay. In this case, the function body contains 3 statements, out of which only the printf line is an executable statement. Okay, the lines beginning with slash, star and ending with the star, slash are known as comments. So when you want to put any comment, comments are very important in any programming language. When you write any program, you need to put the comments beside every instruction, because you will understand in a later point of time what does the instruction do. And it also understood, when you write comments, other programmers will easily understand what is your program, what you are trying to solve any problem. So that means you can make others to easily understand about your program if you mention the comments. So how do you write the comments? Comments are written by using this is slash and star line and end with star and slash. So this is the indication you need to give to write any comment. Okay, this is a rule you have to use. Okay. So in this program, the only executable instruction is printf. No other instructions are there. That's why no other instruction, any other instruction will not be executed. So you get answer as I see, I remember. Okay. So this is the structure of the C program. Main, open and close. Open the cover bracket, close the cover bracket. So there is another program. It is adding two numbers, addition of two numbers. We'll see this one later. Okay. So before I start explaining more about the C language, let me have questions from your side. Any doubts? To understand these C programs, the very important point here is you all have to do the practicals. Okay, you all have to do the practicals. So practicals, if you have laptop or desktop with you systems, then you can practice at your home on your own. Whatever programs I am explaining, you can do that one. Okay, and if you don't have, you can start in your mobile phone also. I will show you which application you use. So, C compiler, offline C compiler application is there. You can directly download from the Play Store. Okay, and you can start executing the programs. So definitely you must include, okay, whatever programs you have done, you need to submit as an assignment. I will tell you what are the assignments you have to do in upcoming sessions. Okay, then so to do practical and to understand more about the C language, definitely we need to execute the programs in a software. So the software which we are using is a Turbo C software. Okay, so I will show you the Turbo C software. So Turbo C software is very important. Then only you can understand about the C language thoroughly. Okay, when you open the Turbo C software, this is what you get the screen Turbo C++. Okay, so just to start Turbo C++, it will open a screen. Okay, I'll remove everything. So when you open Turbo C++, and you start the Turbo C++, this blue color screen you will get it. Okay, so let me go to new file. And, when you go to new file, this one I'm clearing, but I'll save it as my first program. First program. Okay. So my first program I have saved like this. So what is the syntax of a C language program? Remember. So you need to write #include stdio.h. Okay. So what is the uh, importance of this one is, remember. So this is about, this is the main header file. Okay, header file in any C program. Then you must write #include conio.h. So this is useful for useful for certain math operations. Okay, certain math operations, right? Then you need to write void main, and I told you this is main function. Okay, so main function in any C program. I am putting in comments. Okay. In any C program, void main is very important. Then open the flower bracket. Then here you need to write certain instructions like CLR SCF. It is nothing but clear screen. Okay, clear screen. So this is required only in this Turbo C. Only in the Turbo C it is required. So generally the C program does not require this instruction. Clear screen, that means you will clear the screen initially. Okay, it will clear the output screen. Then here I can write a printf. Okay, I'll just put it as hello world. Hello. So after every instruction, semicolon is very important. Okay, if you don't give semicolon, that means you are not terminating the instructions. Then one more instruction is very important, that is get the character. So get the character to the output. So this instruction is also important. Only in Turbo C. Okay, only in Turbo C. Okay, so actually these CLR, SCR screen, clear screen and a printf screen are not required in general. Okay, so first of all save the program, then go to compiler and click the compiler. Okay, so when you click the compiler, you should get this message like warnings are zeros, errors are zeros. Okay, then again go to run and control F9 for compiler, alt F9 for run, control F9. Okay, click control F9. Then you get the output hello world. Okay. So you will get control F9. So I will get the output as hello world. Yes. Save the program. So here ash include stdio.h. What is the meaning of this one? Ash include std. Std means standard input output.h. Okay. std stands for standard. IO stands for input output.h. .h means here header file. Any function if you put .h, that will become header file. So what is the use of this header file? Header files are nothing but inside the C software, inside the C compiler software, there are certain header files. That particular header file is the name of a file. Now, when you save anything in your computer, will you give name to your file like videos, audio, like that? You give certain name to the file. So that particular file name is header file. Now what you have inside the header file? Inside the header file there are so many inbuilt functions. Like for example, the header file name is standard input output. That means the programs that are related to input output functions like printf function, scanf function. Okay, so these are the input and output functions. Input function is scanf function and output function is printf function. So these functions related programs are present in a file called standard input output function. So how do you locate that function? Using .h extension. Okay, stdio is nothing but standard input output .h. .h is nothing but extension. It's a header file. So what is the name of the header file? stdio. stdio. This is standard input output. Now I have kept one more header file, that is conio. Conio is nothing but it is related to certain mathematical operation. For example, you want to perform any mathematical operation in your program, you need to mention this one. Okay. So, for example, if I remove this one, what happens? See. Okay. Before we see what happens, standard input output function header file is created because in my program I am using printf, so I need to use standard input output. Without using this header file, I cannot have any program because definitely I need to use input output function like scanf function and printf function because you want something in the output. So definitely you want a printf. Okay. So what is void main? Void main means I'll talk about void later on, but remember what is main function. So main function, I already told you that this is the default function. This is the first function and it will give the indication of the origin of the program. That means main indicates where does the program actually starts in the memory. That is indication given to the computer. So the computer understands that wherever I have the main function and the open bracket is the start of the function. Now this is the first instruction that will execute. That is which is nothing but CLR SCR. Okay. CLR SCR nothing but clear screen. This is a shortcode for clear screen. So this particular CLR SCR is not mandatory in the C programs, but this is very much compulsory in Turbo C++ compiler. Okay, in this C compiler only we have to use this one. In the standard C programs, you are not required to use CLR, SCR or getch. Your program is important, not these extra instructions. So this extra instruction is one is clear screen, another is get the character. Now if you don't clear the screen, the output screen will not be cleared and the Turbo C++ cannot give you the output. Okay, this is very important. And get the character. So at the end you need to write the get the character, then only all the instructions are brought into the output screen and you will get the output. Otherwise you will not get the output. So this is get the screen. So what is my executable instruction? I have written one output function is nothing but printf open in the quotation in the inverted commas. I have written hello world. Now if you observe every instruction I am terminating with semicolon. See, CLR SCR one semicolon, printf at the end I kept one semicolon, get the ch, get character semicolon. So whenever you terminate any instruction, we have to terminate using semicolon. This is the rule. Every instruction will end with definitely semicolon. Unless and until you are opening any loop, you are opening any function. For example, see here, main function. In the main function at the end, I did not keep semicolon here because this main function I am opening here. Okay, following instruction, if you have any opening, not only main function, any other function, okay, any other loop, any other logic, you have the followed instruction like opening. Okay, like opening brackets are there, then you should not write semicolon here. If you write semicolon, that particular function will terminate there itself and you cannot open. You cannot open further because using main function I am opening the bracket and I am closing the flower bracket. That means I am opening and closing the main function. So that's why I will not keep semicolon here, and also I will not keep semicolon for header files also. Header files are closed using this particular symbol. Okay, greater than symbol, not with semicolon. They are terminated with this symbol only. So don't put semicolons for header files. Don't put semicolon for main function. Okay, very few functions will have the semicolons at the end. Okay, now how do you compile this? First of all, you need to compile. Compile is nothing but to check the errors and warnings. So go to compiler and click on compile, or you can use Alt F9. The shortcut key is Alt F9. Sorry. Just click on compile. There are two errors here because I have removed the Konya.html. See, so it cannot understand what is clear screen, what is getch. Okay, so if I remove these two also, what happens? You see, you will not get output. Whether you get it or not, we'll see. Okay, compile now. There are no warnings, no errors. Now go to run and run the program to get the output. See, when I run the program, I am not getting the output screen. The reason is because I have not written, I have removed this one, CLR, SCR screen, clear screen. Now the prototype supported for these two functions, that is clear screen getch, is hash include conio.h, hash include conio.h, and I need to get the character. Otherwise, I will not get the output screen. Now compile, check for errors. No errors, no warnings. See here, zero errors, zero warnings. See, okay. Press any key, press enter. Then go to run. For run, the shortcut key is Control F9. Alt F9 is compiler, compile. Run is Control F9. See, you got the output. Hello world. Correct? Yes. Say once again. So this is what you have seen, and one more program is explained here. So we'll talk about these programs later because you may not understand these programs unless and until you know the structure of the C program. Next, you need to understand what are the elements of C language. Now, for example, before I explain about this one, let me go and share. Now, see, I am just a erase this one. Okay. Now, what I want is, I'll remove this one also. So, I want addition of two numbers. Okay, addition of two numbers, like add 1 and 2. This is what I want. How do I do? Now, for example, if I write the program 1 plus 2, can I write like this? So the problem here is, now hash include stdio.h is the header file which is used for the standard input output, and hash include conio.h, which is very important to mention certain functions like mathematical functions and certain other functions like clear screen and get characters. This particular header file is very important. And void main, we'll talk about void later, but main function is the actual origin of the function where the C program or C compiler start executing the instructions within the main. The first instruction is executing clear screen. So the main is the starting function. Now my requirement is I want to add 1 plus 2 because I am the programmer. I want to add two numbers, that is 1 plus 2, any number, 10 plus 20, 30 plus 40. I wanted any two numbers. That's what my requirement. Now the problem is add 1 and 2. Now we need to give the solution as a programmers. We need to give the solution so that the C compiler will add two numbers. Okay, will add the two numbers. That is the problem, and the C program we need to give solution. Okay, how do I do? Now if I add 1 plus 2 like this, definitely I get the error C. If I compile, there are no errors and warnings, but we will not get the output. See, nothing, blank screen, no output. Okay, that means it cannot understand what is 1 plus 2. Now I cannot add directly 1 plus 2. First, what I have to do, I need to take A is equal to 1, comma B equal to 2. This is what I have to do. That means definitely I have to take the numbers in the variables. Okay, I have to take the numbers in the variables, that is A and B. Okay, without taking these numbers in any one of the variable, we cannot add any number. Okay, here A and B are variables. A and B are variables. Like I can say it as a carriers. That means these variables will hold certain. These variables will hold certain numbers, constants. Now, but the problem here is, I have taken these numbers. Number 1 in A, number 2 in B. Now, where do I get answer? I don't have any answer. Okay. So, where do I get the answer? I will take it in another variable C. C equal to, I write operation A plus B. Okay. So, I have taken the another variable. Okay, variable C. Variable C will hold the result. So without taking, my intention with this example is, without taking the help of the variables, we cannot perform any operation. Variables are very important. Now here, I have taken A equal to 1, B equal to 2, C equal to A plus B. But the problem, there is one more problem for the C here. Okay, you have taken A equal to 1, B equal to 2. But I know so many numbers. I know so many different types of numbers. Like I know integers, I know real numbers, I know rational numbers, I know irrational numbers, I know characters, I know strings. Okay, C compiler is saying this one. I know everything. But which number you are using? Whether you are using integers, whether you are using decimal numbers, whether you are using characters, okay, whether you are using strings, what you are using in your program, you need to mention that one in the program first. Otherwise, I cannot understand, because I can understand anything. C compiler is saying that I know everything, every number, every type of number I know. But if you don't mention which type of number you are using, then I cannot give you the output. So that is the intention from the C program. So the programmer must mention what type of data you are using. Like I will mention it as int. Now because 1 and 2 are what? What are 1 and 2? Yes. 1 and 2 are integers. Correct? They are integers. 1 and 2 are integers. Okay. And what type of data you are taking, the variable C also you need to mention, comma C. So now I am mentioning, I am a programmer and I am informing the C compiler that here variables A, B and C are type integers. So when I write int in, it's a short code for integer. That means I am mentioning as integer. Now what I am doing, I am assigning the value 1 to variable a. I am assigning value 2 to variable b, and I am just declaring c as integer, but I am not assigning any value, but I am assigning result here. So what C compiler will do, it will take the value in a and value in b, and it will add a plus b. It will add a plus b, and the result, that is 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 will be there in variable c. Now as I am a programmer, I know where the result is. Where is my result? My result is present in variable c. So I want output that is present in c variable. So I'll write output function printf. So I need to mention this one, percentile d, which is for integers, comma c. So I'll let you know what is this percentile d. Okay, very soon you'll understand. So printf percentile d comma c, that means I'm printing the variable c. Okay, now go to compiler and type here 0 warnings, 0 errors, no errors, no warnings. Press any key. Go to run the program. Now what I get output? Can you see? The output is 3. Now if I change the values, I'll get the different answers. Let's say I'll take 10. Just a second. I'll take 10 here. I'll take 20 here. Now what should be the answer? 30. Okay. I got the answer 30. So if you change the input, you will get the output accordingly. Okay, save the program. So did you all understand what is the intention I am explaining? Yes? Any doubts in this?